This episode of Another Happy Pod is sponsored by Floral Shirts.
Floral shirts. Drink them with a beer.
This episode of Another Happy Pod is sponsored by Floral Shirts.
Floral shirts. Drink them with a beer.
This episode of Another Happy Pod is sponsored by Floral...
Did you want to do some witty banter?
We can script some witty banter if you'd like.
I'm not scripting some... You couldn't script any witty banter if it fucking claps you around the head.
And unknowingly to you, Nathan, this will serve as the witty banter.
You know what? Fuck you. Hello and welcome to Another Happy Pod, the show where we talk about pop culture and try to keep things a little bit more optimistic and positive. We don't always succeed, but we make sure we have a good time doing it. My name's Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by everyone's least favourite convicted Lawrence Thomas Heisey.
I'm just going to have to save the censored sound effect now, because this is clearly going to be an every week situation.
I thought I'd already made that clear.
You had, but I just didn't know you'd commit to it, calling me such atrocities, such vile, repulsive allegations toward me and my good name.
Technically, this is only the second time people will hear it, as there is yet another famous lost episode out there.
Oh, that's true, actually, yeah. Well, one day in the future, maybe they'll be able to decipher it from your use of horrible allegations towards me, which one was the episode we recorded months prior to it coming out.
Perhaps. Well, months. Are you really waiting that long?
No, but we've got a schedule for next week, and then presumably something the week after.
We have nothing for the week after.
Oh,
no.
Well, then it will be that then, won't it? Well, now I've given the game away. Everyone's going to know which one it is.
All right. Well,
maybe I'll have to do a little switch. Maybe it'll be the one after that.
No.
Nathan, how much do you love lying on a lilac and drinking a very small can of beer?
I can't say it's actually something I've ever done, but it looks quite fun and comfortable. Although I'd imagine after about 4 million years it would get a bit
exactly.
exhausting.
Well, you've never done it, Nathan, but I'll tell you who has. A man named Andy Samberg, day after day after day. You suggested this movie to me pretty late. We were going to do another episode, but you suggested doing this one. Why?
What movie is it, you fuckhead?
I thought you were going to do a clever little... It's Palm Springs. We're doing the Andy Samberg movie thing that came out. It's been all over Amazon. You can't go on Amazon without seeing it.
The Andy Samberg movie thing. There we are. Yeah, Palm Springs. It's a movie that just came out in the UK. It came out last year in America. They had it for about a year. So fuck those guys. Fuck America for everything. I don't like America. Anyway, this is a movie that I watched this weekend. And I thought it would be a good movie to talk about. Because it's good. It's one of those rare comedies that comes out these days and is actually good.
Yeah. When you suggested watching this, I thought, okay, I'm finally going to have to watch that. Because I was interested in seeing this. I'm a fan of Andy Samberg. But my favourite thing about this is you don't actually have to be a fan of his. As with a lot of his work, you normally have to kind of subscribe into that Lonely Island humour, which is normally like a bit goofy, a lot of butts, like kind of stuff like that.
Farts and butts.
Yeah. Like I'm not discrediting that. There's definitely a place for that, and I'm guilty of enjoying all of that content just as much. But I wasn't expecting kind of such a tonal switch in this, because this was a really heartfelt movie, and I was not expecting the movie that I got at all.
Oh, me neither. So I knew nothing about this movie, literally nothing. I knew it starred Andy Samberg. I knew it starred Christina Milioti. That was literally it. That was all I knew. And of course that it was called Palm Springs. Didn't watch any trailers, just went into the movie and thought, let's take a look at this. Let's see what this will be. And here I'm going to say, if you haven't watched the movie, stop listening to this now and just watch it. It's breezy. It's 90 minutes. Come back and listen to it after. It's definitely worth your time watching it and going into it as blind as possible, not knowing what happens. That's definitely the best way to experience it, in my opinion.
Oh, you're done. Sorry, yeah, no, I thought you were carrying on. You had the cadence of a man who was going to continue his point. Yeah, no, I didn't watch a trailer for this, and I've loaded it up on Google just to see if there was anything that would kind of prompt like something else that I might forget to talk about. And I've even noticed the description on it is comedy/sci-fi, and I'm so glad I didn't even Google this film, like not even to search it on Prime to watch.
So the basic thing is it's Groundhog Day, it's Edge of Tomorrow, it's Happy Death Day. It's one of those movies where time is stuck in a loop and it's just the same day over and over and over and over again. And it does some really interesting stuff with it. What did you think when the whole premise started to reveal itself?
So I was really anxious when they revealed the premise, when it kind of it first cut back to the wake up kind of cut that they do throughout the movie. I was like, oh, was he like imagining something? Like I didn't quite understand it at first, and then it became very clear, and then I realized the movie had done a really clever job of setting up that, because there's like moments before where like Andy Samberg just seems way too prepared for things, like when he's at the wedding the first time and he's like dancing through all those people, and he kind of knows exactly where people are going to be at exactly what moment. That to me was like, at the time I thought, this is really weird and out of character, because we've just seen a guy that doesn't really like put any effort in, kind of obviously.
And again, that makes more sense as why he doesn't put any effort in.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah, well,
why
exactly.
not just show up to a wedding in fucking board shorts and drink a beer? I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, exactly. But I was like, fuck. When the twist occurred, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't realize I was watching this kind of movie, which is why I'm so glad I didn't see the sci-fi tag in the Google search, because it's
the moment that made me say what the fuck was when Andy and Christina were starting to like make out in the desert, and then out of nowhere he just gets shot with a fucking arrow. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. And then he's been chased by, I was like, is that fucking J.K. Simmons? Turns out it is. And yeah, he's just been murdered by J.K. Simmons, which is another great part of this movie. And then, yeah, it starts to reveal himself. There's a moment like before that where he says, yesterday, today, tomorrow, it's all the same. And then that starts to make sense. You start to see exactly what is happening here. And yeah, it's really interesting once Christina Milotti's character starts to get dragged into it as well. And then they kind of go on this journey together.
Yeah, no, like I say, that moment for me, the arrow, I was kind of like watching this movie going like expecting it to be that kind of boobs, farts, Andy Samberg kind of comedy style where you can kind of tune in and out. Not to say that I wouldn't give it my full attention, but I know I could probably leave the room for 30 seconds and I wouldn't have missed anything. Turns out in this movie, if you leave the room for 30 seconds, you miss something pretty massive.
Yeah, you would.
So yeah. I was, that got me. As soon as that arrow hit him, I immediately was like, right, I'm laser focused in on this now. I didn't clock it was J.K. Simmons until I saw his face, and then again, I was still just like, oh, amazing. Like it just the movie was. Firstly, I love an unexpected twist, especially one that's like played for laughs like that, because you can kind of then get in on the joke. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that it wasn't like played for a sudden dramatic tonal shift. It was played for like, even as Andy Samberg's running away, he's like, Roy, you're a freak, or something like, or whatever his name is.
So J.K. Simmons plays a guy who was at the wedding, and one time he meets Niles, Andy Samberg, and they just have the best night together. They're doing coke in the bathroom. They're getting fucked out of their head. That scene was just incredible. And then in his fucked up state, Andy decides to basically bring J.K. Simmons into this world with him, bring him into the trap. He thought it would be a good thing in his fucked up state. So now he's essentially trapped in the loop with Andy Samberg, and basically he's there to just pop in every now and then and just torture and kill him for trapping him in this loop. And that is fucking incredible, because wouldn't you? If you were stuck doing the same shit over and over again, you would want to fucking murder whoever whoever like trapped you in that.
Yeah, because you've just traded your life away.
Yeah.
Especially when that decision was made for you and by a guy that's fucking off his face on coke. Like, you're going to be fuming. But yeah, no, it kind of hits home later on when you realise what... He didn't realise what he was giving up. Like, when he was doing all that gear at the wedding, when he obviously was going to try and, like, kind of get an escape from his family. He obviously kind of was, like, sick of being the family man. It's contextualised really nicely later on when he has to live out that fantasy day by day of like being stuck doing that, and he really starts to enjoy it. And he says there's that amazing line where he's like, oh, priorities change. But the main thing I loved about his character was the fact that, yeah, like normally in a tired trope, kind of like what the plot of this movie tends to be when other people take it on, that character would become like the goofy best friend, or the guy that's there to like be the main person, like basically playing the what I can't remember the character of the female lead. Do you know what was her name?
Kristen Milioti?
Yeah. That's not a character's name. It's Sarah.
Oh no,
right?
Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah. So normally, like Sarah's role would be taken up by like the J.K. Simmons in this, but J.K. Simmons would be like the comic relief to Andy Samberg, kind of straight man, etc., or vice versa. But this was just straight away like, and then he tortured me. And then you see the montage of like these ridiculous, outlandish deaths to the point where he fills a swimming pool with like fucking gasoline or something and then lights it. It's great. That's another thing in this. This movie's like really inventively shot, if that's a word. Like, it's creative as fuck.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like just the shots that they choose to use, like the opening shot where he wakes up and he's like, "That's a nice leg," and you see him through the leg. And it's not, other studios would kind of just be like, right, a mid shot of Andy Samberg waking up in a bed. Like there's the shot where they're having like the really awkward sex, and she's like, oh, "Don't get me too sweaty," and then you can kind of see him in the reflection. Just every time she says something, him just getting more and more wound up. So it's just like every kind of obvious choice, I feel like was the second choice. Like, they had their traditional shots, obviously, but I feel like every time they had an opportunity to do something a bit more interesting with the camera, they did that, and it was really, really cool.
Okay, there you are, Mr. Filmmaker himself. What did you think of? What did you think of Kristen Milioti?
She was really good.
She was really good.
I know her face from somewhere, but what's she in? She's in something big.
So she is the mother from How I Met Your Mother. Spoiler
That's
alert.
The one.
She was also in the episode of Black Mirror, the Star Trek kind of episode as well.
That's where I knew her from, because I knew I'd recognise her face from something big, and that was How I Met Your Mother. But I knew I'd seen the actress in something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, she was really brilliant in this. I expected, like, when I first met her character, I was it was like the girl that doesn't believe in love, the girl that's a bit like, oh, I don't want to, the pessimist, like, I don't want to be at the wedding because love is bullshit. And I was like, oh, I've seen this a million times. But what I loved about her character is, one, she played that believably. It was never like, oh, this I don't believe her. But it was more interesting the way the movie made her challenge that thought process. And it also did stuff with her in the later bits, normally where it would rely on just like a montage of Andy Samberg being sad. Instead, we got montages of her going out and doing this cool shit.
What I liked about her character is the movie really gave her a reason to have that personality. Like, as soon as, like, once she's in the loop as well, she starts talking about how it's karma and how she's been punished for something, and maybe she should do something to reflect that and correct it, essentially. And then she keeps talking about how she's not a good person, she makes mistakes, and then there's the moment where, like, they're with that crazy old guy shooting guns in the desert, and then he told the two of them that one of the puppet or whatever the fuck it is ran off with his wife, so she just blows its head right off.
Yeah.
And then there's the twist a little later on where she wakes up, well, technically the morning of, but the morning of when she and Andy actually hooked up, and it's revealed that she actually slept with her future brother-in-law, the groom at the wedding.
Yeah, on the
Superman
night,
himself,
the night
Tyler
of his
Hoechlin.
wedding. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be him. I was like, I saw him in this, and I was like, oh, this is an unusual role for you, but I like it.
Yeah.
He's good as well. I really liked him. There's a really hilarious moment where she comes in to confront him, and we're jumping all around in this, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a great moment where she comes in and she's like, I can't be a piece of shit anymore. Like, even though he's never going to remember that conversation, she still has to get out of her system. She runs in.
That twist was a great moment, though. That really caught me off guard. And then a lot of stuff started to like really make sense after that as well.
Yeah.
Because like there's a moment earlier where her dad says, "I came in for you in the morning, but you wasn't there." I was like, "But she just woke up, so how is that not possible?" And then because obviously she was in his room, and then just lots of other little stuff like that. It's really clever the way it was written and done.
Yeah, I feel like it did. It's definitely a film that made me kind of go, oh shit, I've been a stupid audience member not paying enough attention. And I think the movie took stock in the fact that it knew you probably wouldn't put too much focus into this kind of Andy Samberg comedy, so it really kind of took liberties with how much it gave away without knowing that the audience wouldn't cotton on, because I sure as shit didn't. I thought that when it got round to that twist, I thought, as soon as they did it, I went, oh fucking god damn it, obviously. Like, shit.
Yeah.
But then I was, as an audience member, I was thinking the movie was out of surprises. I was thinking, well, I know the plot now. The big twist was that it's like a Groundhog Day situation, etc. But yeah, then it still threw another surprise at me, which I thought was amazing. Yeah, no, I really liked it. There is the moment where she comes in and confesses her, like, she's like, I can't be a piece of shit anymore. I can't do this. This was a dumb thing to do. And Superman's just in the shower, and he just kind of... he hears it, realizes there's a great moment where he obviously realizes, well, he probably would have just carried on if they could have kept it a secret. But he realizes that he at this moment should show some remorse, because otherwise she's probably going to go and tell her sister. So he goes, oh my God, I can't believe I've done this. And she goes, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, bye. And just leaves him in the shower crying, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, she was like, I haven't got time for this shit. Like, left.
Yeah.
Which
why would she though? Because she knows, like, it's pointless. Like you said, she knows it's pointless. There's no real point to her doing that. It is just more for her than anything. He's not going to remember it. This day is absolutely pointless. So what does it matter? But like I say, it is just something she needs more than anything. So why would she stick around for him repenting or whatever? She just wouldn't. One thing I like about this as well is they don't really make it clear how long Niles has been there, but it seems like quite a long time.
Oh shit, yeah, because they constantly say, like, oh, he's lost the track of time, like he doesn't know if she's been gone days, weeks, months. But then even on, like, there's almost a throwaway joke, but it's almost kind of played seriously, where she says, like, happy millionth birthday.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not that old, am I? And it's like, obviously it's like obviously you're not a million years old. But in this reality, he easily could be.
Yeah, he definitely easily could be. So, yeah, I think he's been in there literally decades. Literally fucking years and years and years. And because he keeps saying, like, he can't really remember much of his life before it. This is just what he knows now. So,
yeah,
that's what he does, really.
When he's the only thing he seems to remember is his dog at the end.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, I mean, look, I've said this many a time on the pod when we've spoken about movies that are like sci-fi related. I'm not the guy to dissect the science in this. Like, I'm not.
Oh, I don't think you're supposed to.
No, but and that's
it's
the amazing
a weird
thing.
magic desert with dinosaurs. So.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, and that's the main thing. It's not. So many other movies would make that kind of, especially in the montage where she's reading into like quantum physics and etc.
I really liked that.
It's great, but like other movies would have been like, oh my God, of course, because then this would have happened, and they would have explained it rather than just show us her figure it out. And I know that she knows it, so that's fine.
That's another thing I liked about this movie. Like, it knows you know what's going on. Like, it doesn't hold your hand and say, it's Groundhog Day, it's Happy Day. It doesn't do any of that. It's just like, yeah, it's a time loop. Deal with it. Have fun.
Because he literally even says like, oh yeah, it's one of them time loops. You might have seen it in like a movie or something. He says like a line like that where he just throws it away, which is genuinely amazing. What did you think of all the like other side characters? Because I thought all of them are like pretty fleshed out, given that they're side characters.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know really. I didn't really give them much thought. His girlfriend was Misty, I think her name was.
Misty, yeah, something like that. Or
She
Missy or
she was a
something.
terrible person. She was clearly a terrible person.
Yeah.
Her Christina Milotti's family were fine, I guess. I don't think they were that fleshed out really myself.
Oh, fair enough. No, I guess I mean more so like they're not played as like quick jokes. Like there's the scene with Darla in the bar that gives him that genuine moment where he's like, oh, whatever you're looking for, you're not going to find it in this like shithole bar.
Yeah.
That's like a nice fleshed out moment. Whereas like, again, I'm going to keep comparing it to like cheaper movies. But like, I think that a lot of cheaper movies would have played those moments just as like, the sex montage when he's talking about like how many people he's fucked whilst he's been there. That would
Again,
have been
another twist.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I sneezed. Unsure if I'll edit that out. So if I didn't enjoy that sneeze, yeah, they all kind of. I'm going to lose my train of thought because I'm going to sneeze again. I did another sneeze, Nathan.
No.
Yeah, right. So they kind of another cheaper movie would have played it just as like that kind of cutaway gag, which I thought was it was funny that they didn't just do that. Like, there's the guy who he like pretends to be his son later on. I thought he was quite a fun inclusion. I really liked how the perfect wedding is kind of like everyone at that wedding's kind of just a bit of a piece of shit, other than the bride.
Yeah.
And also, there's one thing I want to ask you about, which I think is the movie's final twist, but I don't quite know if I'm reading into it too much.
I think I think I might also know about this. I think
It's her nan, right?
is it? Yeah. I think she's also in the loop.
Yeah. And I think that's amazing, because think about it, right? If she's old as shit, like let's put her in her like late 80s, right?
Oh, that's very old.
Oh, it's pretty old, late 80s.
I don't think she was that old.
I think she was that. Right, look, either way, she's an old lady. Like, the emphasis is put on her because, one, at the beginning, she already says, oh, you wouldn't believe how many weddings I've seen. And then Andy Samberg's like, I've seen a fair few myself. And obviously then you recontextualise that moment as Andy Samberg's been here for too long. But later on in the movie, she says, oh, I assume you'll be leaving now. To Sarah, and it's hinted at that she's also there, and she knows exactly what's going on every day as well. And obviously she'll have been able to suss it out by the fact that every day they do weird shit, and she's obviously realised that they figured it out. But there's I think that's lovely, because if you're kind of a lady, you're old, and you're in a scenario where you're surrounded by all your like friends and family, realistically, as an old person, why wouldn't you want to live that day over and over in your old age?
Yeah, it is quite sweet. It's one of those things where it's not confirmed, it's not signposted, it's not this is what it is. It's slightly ambiguous, which kind of, I feel like the ending is also slightly ambiguous. It doesn't explicitly say they got out. There's hints that they do, and I believe that they did, but it's still slightly ambiguous as to whether they actually...
Do you want to expand on why that was ambiguous? Because I'll be honest, I heard that people thought that, because I watched a quick interview with Andy Samberg after it to hear what he thought about it. But I didn't think it. I thought they got out. I thought it was pretty clear.
For me, it's the dinosaurs. If it played out the exact same, and this isn't a joke, if it played out the exact same and it didn't have the ending shot of the dinosaurs, then I would have been like, oh, they got out. They very, very clearly got out. And especially, did you see like the mid-credits scene as well?
J.K. Simmons at the wedding, right?
Yeah. That also like just confirms basically as well. But the dinosaurs, like... And this is just how I see it, but the dinosaurs are like a point of unrealism, if that makes sense. I'm trying to like find the words I'm looking for. but something that's just not quite real. It's I don't know exactly the words I'm looking for, but the fact that the dinosaurs were there, to me, it just says that there's something not quite right about that. So, I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess I figured it was just the kind of like, I figured it was just kind of a nod to, like you say, this kind of like magical desert that they found themselves in. Yeah, I think that, to be honest, the dinosaurs I didn't really get from the get-go. Like, I didn't understand why the time loop meant there had to be dinosaurs, but I figured it was just they're in a weird place where there's like a time loop cave. So I figured it's just the location of where they are. There's some weird shit that goes on around there. I don't know.
I think the point that they see the dinosaurs in like midway through the movie is actually, I think it's like quite important to the storytelling, because that's the point where she fully accepts it, where she sees the dinosaurs and she's just like, nothing matters, so fuck it, let's do this. And I don't know, there's just something about that at the end which makes me think, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't really explain it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's a weird movie to explain. Like, I'll be honest, if I jumped on the microphone as soon as I'd finished watching this, which was only a couple of hours ago, I would have been a bit lost for words. Like, it's a weird movie, and you do have to think about it. And I think I'm definitely gonna rewatch it because I'll get to see, one, obviously it's an hour and a half. It's such an easy movie to watch. And it's genuinely good. It's genuinely funny. So it's a pleasure to rewatch. But I want to see those bits at the beginning recontextualized. I want to know where they end up and kind of see the decisions there. I think I was reading as well, they did apparently shoot a few different endings and like tested them with like friends and family as to like which one works best. So there are like a few different endings out there. Whether or not we'll ever see them, I don't know. But I kind of like the ending we have. I like that it's just a little ambiguous little button on the end there. Yeah, no, I do as well. All the good time movies have that weird kind of thing at the end, don't they? I think it's not a movie that plays with time unless there's somewhat of a question at the end. Because it's one of them things you can never. If you write if you're a screenwriter and you write a time loop or a time travel element in your script, then you're a braver man than I'll ever be, because you're playing with fire there. Like it's so easy to just get one thing wrong and you'll be ridiculed for the rest of your life.
I mean, fucking people still go on about Endgame and the time travel, even though it makes sense in the terms of the movie and it's fully explained. But people still are like, but how did Nebula kill Nebula? Like, they fucking explained it, you cunt.
Also, you get the whole, like, does that mean that Steve has technically had sex with his niece? And it's like, no, because it's not his fucking niece. You fucking idiots. Like,
he also didn't have sex with her.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess I'm playing that up. This is an odd movie. I think this is quite a special movie. I'll be honest. Like,
it's a good movie. I always like it when you can take like a rom-com and put a weird twist on it, and give it like a sci-fi twist, give it some weird time travel thing. It just makes it a little bit more exciting, and adds a new layer to it. I would definitely, this is something I think everyone should watch, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. Have you seen About Time?
I haven't, no.
I won't say much, but that's a good one. If you enjoyed this, I think you'll enjoy that as well.
If you enjoy this, I think you will enjoy Happy Death Day, but you still refuse to watch that.
I still don't know if you're joking about whether that's good.
I'm not joking. It's a genuinely good movie.
But it looks like the cheap version of this. Do you not think?
But you're judging it by a trailer for a horror movie.
I am,
which
because
you should
that's
never
what it
do.
Put out. That's the main bit of marketing it put
well,
out.
Here you go. Why don't you watch the movie and decide for yourself, you fuckhead?
Oh, you've got me there. You caught me being pretentious there. I'll admit.
Yeah, fucking pretentious classic noir cinema. Lawrence strikes again.
Lawrence is announcing right here on the pod, we'll do Happy Death Day at some point.
All right, I'm sure we will.
It's locked in now. None of our 11 viewers hold that over my head, please. What do you make of like the ending conversation with J.K. Simmons?
What, the mid-credit scene?
No, sorry, like the last kind of like the conversation at his house.
Yeah, it's just a nice moment, really. Just like the kind of moment, he's got a family and everything like that, and he's saying that he's done killing Andy over and over again. Although they do get one last kill, which is quite funny.
Yeah, I like the premise of how he's like, "Can you kill me? It'll be quicker than driving all the way back home." That's just the fact that this guy's lived for that long now that it's just like this will be easier. Like it really did. To be fair, that's the one thing I massively believed that Andy Samberg had lived this day over and over and over.
Yeah,
which is great because often you don't think of Andy Samberg in the category of like great actors. You think of him as like, oh, the funny guy from Lonely Island and the one that is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair.
And in
but
this
no,
movie,
he is good. He definitely showed that he's good in this movie. But yeah, that scene, it's a really good scene. It's kind of like the come to Jesus moment, if you want to call it that. Just the moment where it all clicks and it makes sense for everyone. What did you think of that scene?
I really liked it. Again, I think this movie's mainly montages, right? And then like you've got like three defining scenes, like three big ones. That's the like the fireplace scene or like the camping scene, the J.K. Simmons scene, and like really the beginning one, that kind of where the first one where she gets caught in the loop. And I think they all served an emotional like purpose. Like it was obviously a film written around those kind of main beats, but I don't think it was padding for extra time around it. I think it was like they flowed really well. They got to those emotional beats really smoothly, and I did really enjoy the fact that J.K. Simmons at the end of it, like I said, was just kind of. It was a mini arc in the thing because we're watching two main characters change, but in the background, someone is going through the exact same shit as them.
Yeah.
And we see that it obviously drove him a little bit deranged for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you cut to him at the end because he's like, oh, even Andy Samberg, like midway through the film, is like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. Like I haven't seen him kind of kick around, and that's because he's just been chilling. Like he's just been actually trying to enjoy. Like exactly what Andy Samberg is saying, enjoy this life, but he's enjoying it in a very different way. He's enjoying it by living out a day with his family every day, just like as perfectly as he can, which I think is really lovely.
I like the fact that the reason he stopped trying to kill Niles over and over and over again as well is just because he got a taste of that. Because Sarah hit him with the car, yeah. And for the first time he like got a taste of what it like. Because Niles keeps saying that death isn't real because you can die and you'll just wake up the next day, but pain is real. So like. He obviously got hit with a car. That's obviously a very painful experience. So he had to live through all of that. And he was like
there's the workaround of like if they just fall asleep, or if they like pass out, they'll just wake up again. So they can kind of end the pain. But obviously, when you're taken to the hospital, the nurses and the doctors aren't going to let you fall asleep because they're worried that you will die, and obviously that's exactly what he wants to do, which was great. Yeah, no, I did enjoy that. I think a lot of this movie was well thought out in terms of like, you know, the dumb questions that you'd often ask in like a time travel movie or a movie that plays with time. You'd ask those dumb questions. What I really liked of this movie was like didn't take itself seriously enough to ignore them. It was like let's just lean into it because it's a comedy, so it will be funny.
It definitely played to its strengths in that term, and one of the strengths with it being very breezy 90 minutes watch, one of the strengths of it being very well written and actually giving its characters something to do, and then overall just being funny and interesting as well. A little bit shorter this one, but that's alright. Like the movie itself. Lawrence, what would you rate Palm Springs out of 10? Or whatever weird rating you want to do.
I would give it 99 million.
Oh no.
Out of 98 million. So it's actually surpassed its goal, because I do like the movie and I wanted to do something About time. I don't know. I tried.
Well, that one made no. That one made no fucking
It's
sense.
a good movie. It's a good movie. Go and watch the movie.
Yeah, you know what? I'll match that. I'll say that too. Fuck the rating system. They don't mean anything anyway. It's all just arbitrary numbers. So that was Palm Springs. It's available on Prime Video. Give me some money, Jeff Bezos. So go give that a watch. You do the thing. What fuck off. Talk.
Next week, we are going to be doing a little bit of a later episode. It's going to be coming out on Sunday because we're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how that wraps up. I hope I've got my dates right. I think that's next week, right?
That is next week with special guest.
Ooh.
Twitch streaming legend known as Mist. Not Backy, but Miss, I believe it's Miss Tay, but our friend Beth is coming on, so look out for that. We got our first female guest, so feminism.
Oh God, female guest, no.
Oh no. Well, we're cancelled now. Follow us. You do this, but usually
right. Okay, fine. Right, follow us on Another Happy Pod. We're on Instagram and we are also on Twitter. We're probably other places. We're not. That's a straight up lie.
We're not.
No, we're on TikTok, but there is a TikTok there that
we are on
shows
TikTok,
a very slandered.
No, it got taken down from that TikTok for promoting violence. Yeah.
Great. So our TikTok career was short-lived because it promoted violence. If you want to see
more, I think it was
more
the picture of me with a knife. So.
That makes sense. Yeah. Right. If you want to see more inciting violence, come and join us on Twitter and Instagram. And give this podcast a little 5 stars if you enjoyed it. This is a genuine ask this time. Normally I'm a bit more forceful, but it's not working.
Give it 5 stars or Lawrence will you.
No.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Next week, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, I was going to make up a catchphrase, but we already have one. Okay.
You can't outro for anything. I
was going to be like, keep on podcasting. And I was like, oh yeah, we already have another happy pod. Anyway, another happy pod. Goodbye. I'm done.
Goodbye.